intense.
I tell you, it's proper cinema, you know?
Yeah.
And she's brilliant, and Maggie's brilliant, you know, and it'll entertain you no end,
Yeah.
and it'll also make you rethink your life at the end of it and go, I'm done with being
And that's what we
afraid
want
of
when we go
everything.
to the theater. That's what we want.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ajay Discusses Movies, a show in which I discuss movies both old and new. Today we're discussing a new movie that just dropped in the theaters this past weekend, and that movie is titled The Bride, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. This is Maggie Gyllenhaal's second film. Her first film, The Lost Daughter, received rave reviews and tons of awards. That film starred Dakota Johnson. This film, however, stars Jessie Buckley as the bride of Frankenstein, as her significant other, played by Christian Bale, engage in several hijinks and escapades. This leads into having several individuals being murdered, which then catches the eye of private investigators, both of them played by Peter Sarsgaard and Penélope Cruz, to track down the whereabouts of these individuals and to bring order and justice to the city. Now, in terms of this film, I want to say the following. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I didn't like it. There are aspects of it that I did enjoy. And just to get my overall thoughts out there is a good movie in here somewhere. I want to be very clear here. There is a good movie in here somewhere. While I can appreciate the horror and the humor aspects of this film, the daunting 2-hour and 8-minute runtime deter me from truly feeling invested in the characters of this film. You mix that in with the directing and the writing and the odd sequencing of events, and it felt as if, to me, that the film kind of overstayed its welcome. Now, let's talk about positives here, because I don't want to be all doom and gloom. There are aspects to this film that I enjoyed. The cast is amazing. This is a star-studded cast. Jessie Buckley really played the cartoonish, laughable side of this character to the fullest extent. At times, it felt as if not only her, but the entire cast was on acid while filming this movie. It felt as if they really appreciated the cartoony aspects of their roles, the exaggerated aspects of their roles, and how they were able to use it to the fullest of their extent. To me, it felt as if Jessie Buckley was playing like a 90s Jim Carrey character.
Do not go in there. Woo!
Just because of how zany and how crazy and just how in your face she was the entire movie, it felt as if I was watching a Jim Carrey movie. In fact, it felt like I was watching a manic, bipolar, schizo person while watching it. And I felt as if she did a great job showing the multitudes of her character. Christian Bale also, I thought, was hilarious in this movie. You can tell that he really had an appreciation for this character. And in my personal opinion, I felt as if the dark horse in terms of actors in this movie was Peter Sarsgaard. To me, Peter Sarsgaard was the silver lining in this entire film. I felt as if he tied loose ends. His character, I felt like, had a lot of depth. Yes, there were times where he revealed a little bit too much, where I audibly threw my hands up in the air in a pretty dead movie theater, saying, what is he saying? Why is he admitting to this? But I felt as if Peter Sarsgaard played the likable person in this film. And the rest of the individuals, Penelope Cruz, as well as Jake Gyllenhaal, who is Maggie's brother, also did well in the film. Hair and makeup, I thought, were amazing. I mean, apparently it took 5 hours for Christian Bale to get his makeup done on a daily basis. I can't imagine the toll that took on him and on the people that did him up. But just give him the awards right now. Just give him the Academy Awards right now, because you can definitely tell a lot of the budget for this film went into the hair and makeup. The sound design was amazing. When you hear the gunshots, especially by the near end of the movie, it rattles you off. It shakes you to your core. And the choreography. Now, when you read the reviews on this movie, when you watch the reviews on this movie, you'll hear that a lot of individuals liken this film with that of, say, Joker Folie à Deux. I don't really see the similarities, besides the fact that they were both financed by Warner Brothers and the fact that they both had their main leads dancing in the movie, and how this character is kind of reminiscent to Harley Quinn. But the choreography was amazing, not just in terms of the party scene. I'm not going to spoil the party scene, but not just in terms of the party scene, but also the movie that's played in theaters that they're watching at with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. I felt as if the choreography was great. But in terms of my positives, that's where it starts and ends. I want to say that there is a good movie in here somewhere. Allegedly, the original cut for this movie was different than the theatrical cut. So if you watch the original cut, a lot of critics, while watching the original cut, felt as if it was a great movie. But somehow in the edit, they felt as if they needed to maybe over-explain things or cut certain scenes down that wasn't necessary for that scene to occur. And it felt as if the movie that we got was different than the movie that it was initially supposed to be. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's studio interference. I don't know. I don't want to point blame to anyone, even though it's quite easy to point blame at David Zaslav. But that's neither here nor there. It felt as if there was a movie that was great within this movie that ended up not being a good movie, if that makes any sense. So that I felt was definitely an issue, the daunting 2-hour runtime. And also, there are moments in this film where you're just, as I've mentioned before, you just put your hands up and you think to yourself, what am I watching? There's a scene in which there are individuals that are clearly inspired by Ida. She murders a few individuals, some folks that you could argue had questionable motives, and this inspires individuals within this area to essentially dress up like her. And there's an entire montage of individuals dressing in black makeup with painting their tongue black, sticking out their tongue, and acting as if they're some part of some revolution. And you think to yourself, why? What is this scene? And why is it so funny to watch? I don't know. The messaging, the metaphors in this movie write itself on its own head like it's Frankenstein. And also, in terms of the scenes that were in this film, there's the inclusion of Mary Shelley in this film, where Jessie Buckley essentially plays her alter ego. Ida plays her alter ego, and it's essentially her conscience. And it's filmed in black and white, and you can definitely tell that there's artistry in terms of the scene, but there's not that much that is being communicated on screen for me to truly appreciate what's unfolding. And those scenes in particular, I felt as if didn't necessarily need to be in the film. I can appreciate the artistry. I can appreciate what it's trying to go for. But it felt to me as if it didn't need to be in the film. So, while watching this movie, people will say that it's similar to Joker Folie à Deux, or that it's a film that you laugh with or laugh at, similar to Megalopolis. But to me, while watching this film, and maybe this is just a combination of these two films, but to me, it felt as if I was watching the sequel to The Crow, the 2024 movie, with that of, say, Purple Rose of Cairo, in which you're able to see someone watching a movie in the theaters as it's playing, and it's quite meta in terms of what it's trying to evoke. That's what I got while watching it. It felt like if a woman made Purple Rose of Cairo that used themes of feminism, sexual liberation, and so on and so forth through the context of The Bride of Frankenstein. And they were able to create a sort of artistic movie out of it. Despite it failing on certain ends, it felt as if it was a creative film that you knew, or that the creator spent a lot of time on. But again, those were my negatives on this film. Now, I'm not trying to deter people from not watching this film. I think you guys should still watch it. Even though this movie isn't for me, I implore you guys to still watch this movie in theaters. Meme this movie to death. Treat this movie as if TikTokers or how social media treated the Minecraft movie.
Theaters showing the blockbuster hit have been battling some unruly crowds going wild during the film. Teens going viral on TikTok for throwing things at the screen when Jack Black's character says, "Chicken Jockey!"
Treated as if how people online treated the recent Minions movie. because I do think that there is an audience for this movie. And if you were unhappy with what Wuthering Heights was trying to evoke, I think that this would be a nice replacement for you. And if you didn't like either movie, I'm curious to know your thoughts as to why. And if you didn't like this movie, or if you liked this movie, I want to hear your thoughts as to why you liked it. So all that is to say, this movie just wasn't for me, but I can definitely tell that this movie will generate a cult following. So those are my thoughts on this movie. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. The bookshop has been updated with Bright Lights, Big City. Go check that book out. It is a film that details the debauchery of the New York City nightlife, especially that in the 80s, and how it can all go awry if you don't think about the dangers of what you're doing or what you're indulging in. So please go check that book out. It's a scintillating read. Other than that, I'll come back next week, maybe with a guest. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about the Paramount Warner Brothers deal. The issue with that is that I feel as if I discuss that topic, I will not only get blackpilled, but I will feel cynical and skeptical about the future of movies, as everyone should be. But talking about it in detail would only make me feel worse about what I'm doing, which is talking about movies. So I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay sane in this insane world where there's literally no checks and balances, where there's literally no sense of control or restriction on what private equity can do. But I'm going off the deep end already. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.